Hi, I'm Sarah. In 2017, I started a Facebook channel called Sarah's Shooting It Straight, where a lot of my videos address the issues at River Park. Well, now we're going to be looking at what has changed and what is not. So right here, I can tell that the grass has been cut, but that just makes the litter and trash show up that much worse. As I said, we have litter and trash, including a beer bottle and bricks covering the ground in the playground area. We have storm damage that you can see here, and the remnants of signs from the July opening of the splash pad still hanging in disarray. Here we have the mulch. We have roughly around 1 inch of mulch when there's supposed to be 10 inches. And over here, if you can see this right here, there is an electrical box that has fallen to the ground and is laying there for danger. And here, with this light post, if you can see that, right underneath it, there is the makings of another washed out area. I'm Sarah, and I'm still shooting it straight.
How you doing, sir? David Blackman.
Pleasure.
And that's my oldest one. That's Haley Pierce, and this is Sarah Francis right here.
Hey, Sarah, how are you? Nice to see you.
We're here, and
good. Yeah,
look,
well, we're just about at the bottom.
Yeah, there is no mulch left. Look, and
we'll go full tilt.
Yeah, see, I thought it was supposed to be, if I read things right, and you know much better than I did, like supposed to be an inch of mulch for every inch of height on equipment. Is that right?
Well, it's
roughly
on one like this. 9-inch compact is what you have.
Right,
to have.
right.
It'll go in about 2 inches deeper, and then.
But that's what this was, 9 foot. That's what it was. The problem that they had the last time, and Sarah, would you like to come tell him about this?
About the problem?
Yeah, about the compost stuff. Sarah, tell about the problem that you found with the mulch.
Well, the city was supposed to keep the mulch turned over, but they didn't, and it started growing black mold.
It had mold all in it.
Oh, did it really?
And since then,
we took, and she, yeah.
I was supposed to have an inch for every 10 inches.
Yeah, what you end up with on
it was a 9-inch compact.
The guidelines are 9-inch compact.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go. I'm gonna fill it up. What I've been doing lately though is going above that and going 10 or 11 inches compact. So
yeah,
because
the shavings.
And you can and they can put the excess under.
Right.
And then you'll.
Yeah, because it's gonna compact. I know nobody's.
Before you have to replenish it.
Right,
Yeah.
and I know nobody's gonna turn it over once a month to keep it out. But we had problems with grass growing up through all of it.
Right.
There was mold. There was big patches of mold. There was. They took. Miss George, how you doing?
Yeah.
But the girls come down here and took all that. Took that video and all of the mold growing up and through there.
Yeah.
And see, like, well, Haley has to be. Oh, I'm sorry. Haley has to be walked around, or she's, even though she's got a power chair, it's too much for getting in our car and all like that. So if we bring the walkers don't run through the mulch, and she has to be. So, but it's stuff we can manage. But like on the steps over here.
Yeah. So you got the transfer station.
Right. Yes.
And you're saying that's still too high.
This is 17 inches right here.
Right.
And with the mulch, it was about right.
Yes.
With a full
just have
mulch.
To have the right mulch in there.
With the right mulch.
That's the key.
The problem that Haley has with this here is she transfers in from this way with her walker, and she has to navigate all the way around to get to the other side.
Right.
That's where she, to have steps on the other side, because there's 22 inches on both these two sides.
Right.
And even for safety reasons, it looked like having an open gate and a 22-inch drop would be Because I don't know if
that's where. And again, I'm gonna take a photo and I'll put my measurements in there and I'll send it to our guys and just check my numbers to make sure. But that with the correct amount of surfacing, as you said, that's going to get us there.
One more step on both sides, you know.
Yeah, and but it's we couldn't even begin to add one, and that is manufactured per the guidelines. Now I can ask, but
so there was never intended for one to be on this side.
That's correct. Yeah, you got the transfer, what we call the approach step, which is this.
Right.
You only got one.
Right.
And then your transfer can be at either one of those locations. And again, I'll measure the height.
Because they come with the same bolt ups as that.
Yeah.
For that side too. I mean, if 22
and a half there.
I think that was 16 and a half or 17.
Top of that is 18 and 22 and a half. So what I got here, you probably get a difference on both sides. 22 and a half, and 18. Yeah, because hey. So when she transfers up, when the mulch was here,
coming
in from this side?
No, she was coming in
from there.
Never been able to get onto that side.
That makes it harder. We got to have the mulch.
Right, got to have the mulch. The mulch will at least make this here up.
I'm gonna put in originally about 12 inches.
Yeah, because
so
it's gonna pack.
Come up to the bottom.
Right. And like I said, and I know you said that, so there's no way to put another step on the closer side, being that that's where she would entry from. And I don't want to be petty.
No,
you know what I'm talking about. But you see how.
What it does is, you might know, distances.
Right.
Different. So when you put a piece like this in, I'm measuring that at 64 inches. Now all of a sudden I've got a step here, and I've got to worry that slide is not.
But I mean, it's the same exact.
Come off of that end.
But it's the same exact.
If it's the same distance.
If it's the same, it looks to me like it's just a mirrored thing. And I thought about that. Well, maybe it was for allow for the wheelchair to come around or whatever, in which the wheelchair and the wood mulch don't work well anyway.
Let me see what I got here.
Man,
that's 57. What I've got to do is just send it into my design and ask him that question.
Right.
But I in my 10 plus years, we've never added
an extra.
It's always one approach step, and that's all playground companies, because that meets the guideline. Again, the key is, and this is not just this location or any other. Replenishing, a lot of people don't. A lot of cities, a lot of parks and recs, a lot of church, they don't replenish on a timely basis.
That's right.
And we do tell them, and when I go back and visit, I'll mention it to them.
Well, like I said, for the majority of people,
this is common.
It is common.
This is very common.
And for, like I said, for kids, Sarah, she come up here, she bounds right up on it. She don't care one way or the other.
Right.
But it makes a difference when you're already limited onto that.
It does.
Yeah, it's a small kids. I mean, we watched a lot of changes over the thing. And like I said, the kids love the park down here. They like it. Like I said, it doesn't have bathroom facilities, so we got abuse going on of that.
Yep.
It happens because major calls and kids go and.
And this is one thing that's a reminder to me as the rep, and that's just continually. It's not like I've called Mayor Evans and said, "Hey, you need to replenish." I haven't done that, so that's on me too. So it's up to us to try to help
up until
you had mentioned about mulch some time ago when we talked about
but I should be doing it more often.
Right, and a year ago we had mulch in here, but it was so grown up with grass, it was basically just. And they come in here and they took it out, I think, because it was basically a carpet of grass on the top. And it was only then, I think we clocked it at 4 or 5 inches, using the.
Yeah, and it goes away fast. So what I'm going to do, Mayor Evans and George and David, is I'm going to, you're really down to the bottom, essentially.
Yeah,
so I'm going to send you a price for putting in, normally we do a 9-inch compact, but I'm going to do a 10, 11-inch
just where it'll settle
onto
that.
You put more underneath there, and it won't take as long. You won't have to replenish it as often.
Right.
And then I'll put some notes in there about how often to pay attention to it. With you and the new mayor, and kind of go from there. So and I'll keep in touch. And again, it's a reminder to me as a rep. I see this a lot, and I do tell them when I go by the place to see them. But I don't
cities are so strapped for money, to come up with an extra.
It is.
It is a lot of money.
And it would be easier to do the poured rubber, but the budgets aren't such.
It is.
It's just so much more expensive. I think, Mayor, we essentially had a quick conversation with him.
Oh yeah.
He wouldn't have been able to get.
Well, they love all this. They love all this here.
Yeah,
look, talking about the abuse now, the fire department about I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, had to come down here and sanitize the equipment because, as I said, there's being no bathroom down here, they was going in the tube.
Oh, gracious. Okay.
And laying it in the tube. And they had to come down here and sanitize it. It happened once or twice that was documented on like that. But,
right.
Like I said, we've got no water, and I understand, like I say, well, kids, they need water. Well, if there's no water down here, people bring the water bottles like that. And normally it's clean right now. But the volunteers have really stepped up and helped a lot.
And it's a beautiful site.
It's a really pretty site.
Great site.
We've got
beautiful view.
From our point of view and all, just like with the parking, my girls can't transfer down that. It's, or the steps on that side. So we come in, we park over at the white, we come in on the sidewalk where she can use her walker, or we can walk with her, kind of like what we're doing now, or two across. But there's holes up around where the bicycle rack and all that, and they dug up all the plumbing. I mean, they're just big old gaping holes that's just left open like that. And I know that's not part of what you do, but it's part of the maintenance and the safety for the kids and all. Down here next to the light pole going out, there's a big hole there at that green box under. It's a big washed out spot. And you remember about a year ago they had to repair that big old cave in of where all those rocks was at. Well, up under that light, that's coming back again there.
Yeah. When you get outside the perimeter, it's always, and you're looking for things. And the good thing is, obviously, that would have been a huge issue had the mayor not gotten this beautiful gate fencing.
Oh yeah. Look,
river. So
this park is definitely a blessing.
Well,
we're glad that you done a good job.
Before I left, I had all that cleared out.
Well, look, it was too.
You could sit here on the bench, or sit here on that bench and get a whole.
Well, Lamarcus
Lamarcus
Snow and the volunteers cleaned off from the St. James Hotel all the way to here. This was all done by volunteers because the girls have had videos done back in 2017 and 18 or whatever like that, where they sat and made videos. You couldn't even see the bridge at one time.
Right.
And if you're gonna have a part that's supposed to be for the view of the bridge.
Right.
And you can't view the bridge, it gets to be,
when you first built it, you're right. It was
clear, yeah. But that stuff grows up. It's fast. A couple of years.
2015. I cleared it.
It was all clear. Yeah, it was.
All the way down there, we could sit here and look at that water
and on both sides.
You
could see them all.
Over the years.
And see, we're gonna have. They're marking off now for the bridge floating parade, but you can't see the water.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully they'll come
and I know that this mayor's going to be working to fix a lot of stuff. We went through 4 years where we didn't get anything done in the city, and it just shut down after Mr. Evans left.
Yeah, I know.
He was a go-getter.
I
remember being with him and making a sales call, and it was in the evening, I think, or late, a little bit later, and he was getting phone calls about stuff.
He still gets phone calls regularly.
All hours of the night.
Look, I've never made a call to Mr. Evans that he didn't pick my phone call up and talk to me. And he's got a wealth of knowledge, and up until recently, I didn't realize all the accomplishments your brother had in the sports world. I was just totally, on that, but. I've got best friends that have known Mr. George since for forever.
Right.
There and like I said, he's well thought of here.
Did a very good job.
I talked to him in person, and he's gonna meet, but he's gonna send somebody down because I asked him to send Public Works somebody down in case we had to talk about volunteers.
Right.
But he said he's gonna send someone down.
Two things, Mayor, on that is. Two ways to save money. Clearly, volunteers are the best.
Yeah.
But if you can't get a group, even a local general contractor that would be willing to cut you. My guys are coming in from Georgia or Florida, and we're going to charge a lot more money than I want to.
Yeah, I understand.
But it's almost like the trip fee has to cost a lot of money. So,
you got time, you pay that man to ride.
Yeah. So I'm going to quote for you just the wood carpet. And then if you come back and say, hey, I want to know the install, I will do that. And what we would try to do is if I got my guys close and I know I can get them here sooner rather than later, then we'd try to, that would help the price.
Right.
But I would look for a volunteer or a really good general contractor.
Well, we have enough wood saw mills right here now that finding cedar shavings or whatever, oak or whatever has to be, whatever the. We got a mulch company here, so.
Yeah, this is engineered wood fiber, so this meets all the ADA guidelines.
Oh, okay,
So that's what I would stick with that, given that we want to make sure it compacts easier and it's made for playground.
Right. No splinters.
So it costs more.
No splinters.
Yeah, that's right. It's not the regular. That regular mulch is a problem.
Yeah.
and you never know what you're
You
going to have
never
in there, and
know.
it doesn't compact. The only thing is, how do you want to come in? You want to, they can. I think they dumped it kind of where the mayor's car was,
Probably
to this side, but that means it's on the hill and it's going to be harder to drag off. If we could get through here and get back and put it even on the sidewalk out there, that's
well,
possible.
they bring trucks now. I don't. Yeah, you can drive a car down there. I don't know if you could drive.
I don't know if you can
truck.
get that truck down there.
I think
we'll go take a look at that.
But you to have a Sarah, we'll be right back. Watch.
I'm gonna take a
Yes, you go right here.
I want to make sure I don't want to take pictures of kids in it.
Oh, hey, Sarah, y'all, they, okay, y'all just stay back there. They up there playing.
They're good where they are right now.
Good.
How's this worked out?
Well,
It's been open 3 or 4 days since it's been put in. It opened
It's
for
been
the.
that soon since he put it in, yeah.
Well, it's been here for several years, but it didn't have any water to it, but they got the water in. This was originally supposed to have been a recirculating pad.
Yeah, when I first initiated this at the party park, and we was gonna have that, and it's gonna be sprinkled, like I said, water coming up and music and all that, lighting.
And it does work, and but it was opened up for the 4th of July for that one day because we had the fireworks display.
Right.
2 weeks later, it opened up for a couple of days one week, maybe one day the next week, and then school come in and they shut it down.
They shut it down because of the lack of water, or the.
Well, it was supposed to have been a recirculating pad. That's what was sold to the city, to the council, and where they wouldn't have to worry about the water intake because there was no water at that time here. Well, they changed that. Somebody had it changed after Mr. George and all. I think it already done with all
I tried to get Dario to go ahead and the continuation.
Yeah.
It looks.
Actually, he tried to freeze on. He tried to actually stop that from being done. Had to make sure you understood that.
Yeah.
That was paid for already by me
For the playground equipment.
And he had to end up letting it go, but he wouldn't even let that go.
Well, look, to having to have somebody down here to work, turn the water on and off when people were here, meant that it has to be when it's open. They had to have an employee staff to sit in a chair right there while she was there. And if it was recirculating, you turn it on, leave it on.
So now they still have to have somebody here.
Yeah, because the water is fresh water now. It runs in and straight into the river.
So it's good now. You can. But you still have to have somebody.
You have to have somebody turn it on and off, and so nobody.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I know they got piping all right
I
there.
think if he came through here last time, he came.
He come around,
and he won't be able to. Yeah, we don't want to chew up your ground.
And they do have some. They do have some sprinkler system line that comes right through there, right in line with that faucet.
We could come through here if you guys are comfortable with it. I need to go over there. Look, coming through here in that truck.
I've seen the city trucks pretty big.
53-footer.
Yeah.
I don't think. First of all, he's going to have to jump this.
Yeah.
Come down that hill. I don't know.
That's a lot.
A lot of times it's up to the driver, and these guys are good, but they're 53-foot units.
Yeah.
And that's a hard one.
But if the city's front end loader, somebody with a tractor just pick it up a bucket at a time, it wouldn't take too long.
Well, he could do two things. He could dump it on the side of the hill.
Let it come down.
Further, and so that would put it the closest, but you'd have to drag it off. Or this is a smaller hill. He could come to that edge and put it there.
Right.
You could bobcat it in, or if y'all are comfortable, we can come around. I need to see. He can come. Does he have to come down that hill, or can he come all the? No, you got that blocked off with the amphitheater. So he'd have to come down this hill in order to get here. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. It's all
He won't
a
do
ramp
that.
just like that.
He probably
all pretty.
won't do that.
And I don't know. It's the same problem going around the backside with the sidewalks and stuff. And
I mean on the other side of the.
yeah, but like I said, dumping right here and bobcatting in is probably going to be your
That
best
might be
bet.
the easiest one because this one's going to be more
It
severe.
is. And go further to drag too. You can go back all the way up to the edge here.
You're right. He can dump it literally right there, and you just got to get on it quick because you got that drain. So the day he delivers is the day they need to do it.
Right.
Because you got rain coming in behind it. So at least you know kind of what the choices are.
Right.
And I'll be involved with y'all. I'll tell the wood carpet company. I'll say, hey.
And what was
here's who you're going to meet with, and here's kind of what you got, what you're up against.
Right. What was the wood material that you're talking about? What was the name?
It's called engineered wood. Who's the vendor?
No. Just what it was called.
Engineered wood fiber.
Engineered wood fiber.
Engineered wood fiber. We call it. The company I use calls it wood carpet, but it's engineered wood fiber, and that's if you look that up, that meets all the ADA guidelines. And it's specifically for playground.
For playground.
the chips are smaller.
Right.
And it's also processed with the good wood.
Right.
You know, that's
Right.
not waste wood.
Right.
It's good wood. So
Right.
so the key
Yeah, it was good
always
for
compaction. That was what we put in there was
Well,
exactly
it was
what
good.
that
It was good stuff. Like I
good.
said, up until about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years, when the mold got into it, and there was an issue, and it was brought out then about the mold, and then somewhere between there and then, it just started going away. And like I said, it was growing over so bad for the grass when volunteers, like I said, come in and help get it all cleaned up to start with. And I think a lot of them would just haul out just to get it, because it wasn't what it was supposed to be
Well,
at that time.
one thing to do when we bring this in will be, you know, you can choose to do this, mayor or volunteers, whoever, is maybe to get rid of some of that grass. Now, when we put 10, 12 inches on top of it, it's going to
kill it out.
But what happens is when they mow, if they're spitting grass seed, what you saw was top.
It was.
From the top.
It
so
was.
the guy has to spit it.
He
I always
would
tell him,
turn
you
and
gotta
shoot
spit it
the
out.
other way.
Gotta spit it out.
Exactly.
And
I had a
so
neighbor that done me
they
that
go
way
around
for
the borders, with it going away from the borders. That's really the best way to mow it.
Yeah.
And
I had a neighbor done me that way for years and blow it all out there.
oh, yeah, and so it's growing on top of it.
It's
And
growing on
that's really
top.
what's happening. It happens all the time. But y'all, I'll be back down once we get the order. But y'all kind of see what the choices are. You know, whether or not you want him coming all the way around that building, but you kind of see what the choices are. How are you?
Good morning.
Hey, how are you doing?
How y'all doing?
Very well.
How y'all doing?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Doctor, good to see you.
Good to see you.
How you doing, Ted?
Hey, how you doing?
Jeff Wingo,
Hi.
Play World. Nice to see you.
Dr. Hendricks.
Dr. Hendricks, nice to see you. Jeff Wingo.
Charlie Buchanan.
Hey, Joe. Jeff
Jeff,
Wingo. Good to
Jeff
see
is the
you.
one that put this
Good to
park
meet you.
in for me years ago.
Yeah, I knew it had
Yeah.
come in under your administration.
Yeah, he
Absolutely.
put it in, and so now, you know David.
Yes.
Yeah,
he-
well, I don't know him. I've just seen
We
him.
have dealt.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, he brought to my attention that situation over there probably needs some upgrades as far as meeting the requirements and all like that. And he's the man that's going to recommend some things to us to do that. Plus, the main thing is to put mulch. Some more mulching in there personally. And
I figured it probably at some time, just over time, that
It
probably
is.
is gonna, but now the
You
other
have to keep replenishing.
Yeah, and the other thing is, one of the things that I had to come, we actually submitted a grant about, man, that was probably the end of September, to do a park that's specifically for children with special needs, sensory
Right,
deficits.
mhm.
A
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of grants out
We
there.
we submitted that long before your
Right,
post.
yeah.
So I wish you don't ever ask questions.
Look,
And I really would. I'm asking.
yes,
I'm asking you.
yes.
If you have a concern, before you post, ask a question, because then when you post, you can also say, "I asked. This was the answer."
And I can
Here's the
I can respect that.
Yeah, just ask.
But the
because-
post had been going on since 2017.
Yeah, but,
and-
but
and-
I wasn't here.
No, but
And
then-
so-
she'll do a good job.
I understand
so I'm
that.
asking.
I understand.
Because you do that a lot.
Yes,
And
yes, I
so
do.
You don't know the plan or what already. It's because some things we don't put out, in
I
public.
understand.
We just do it, right?
Look, I understand your
Well, I
view on
think
things.
sometimes too soon get sabotaged. Somebody will sabotage anything you do if they know too much about it before you do it.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So I think if you work
Right.
with her,
Well,
ask her,
we have been asked many times when we go through the mayor that it always needs to go
But-
through the mayor first, and
Yeah,
I
but
have
just
stopped
ask a
several
question.
times to the mayor's office and not got through the office to do any of that.
But our numbers are
um,
public.
Yeah, she's
The
at the
office
recreation.
number
I
is
understand. I know where she's at. I know.
Call and ask.
She'll work with you. I believe that.
Just call and
Well, and you
ask.
can do the, like the inclusive one you're talking about.
Well, why-
poured
Exactly.
rubber surfacing, which is what we were talking about before. If you
Exactly.
get that grant, that
That would
she
solve a
would
lot of
prosper in
any wheelchair
And that's
person.
what we want. And so we won't be able to make all the parks that way,
I
at one
understand.
time.
Well, while we're here, though, while you're here,
But we definitely.
we'll talk about some things while we're here if you
And
got time.
And I don't have a problem with that. That's why we have our parks and grounds supervisor. We've got our assistant director, so that
And I can
more
show
than
you.
just my one little set of ears.
Yeah,
can
there
hear.
you go. I understand. But I'll let these gentlemen, do their things.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you want to take us through
everything and
Yeah, all we really need, and I'm going to get an answer from Mr. Blackman about, he had a question about an approach step on the other side of the transfer station.
Okay.
But I'm going to get an answer for him on that. We've got this lined up that meets all the guidelines, but he asked a good question I'm going to try to get an answer for. Once we put the wood carpet in there, we're going to be good to go.
Okay.
We should be able to have much better access for her and for anyone else.
And anybody else.
Yeah, and really it's all about the level of the wood carpet.
That's what I was
It needs
thinking.
to be replenished, and I'm going to put that as notes to when I email it to you guys.
Okay,
Just,
awesome.
You know, maybe take a third of it and say, okay, what's the third of this cost? And say in about 12 to 18 months, I need to top it back off. Yeah, and just have that money available in the budget. And that's and I know, but everybody is, you know, y'all got so much money, you know, only a certain amount of budget to spend on.
Correct.
And that's, you know, that does get left out by every municipality. I told them, I said,
Oh, yeah,
this is
that's
common.
nothing new.
This is
Yeah,
common.
yeah.
I see
Oh,
this.
no.
I
That's
see
not a
this all the
Selma
time.
thing.
This is not unusual.
No.
And when I go by, I remind them.
Yeah.
But I told David, I told Mayor, I said, you know, I probably need, as a rep, with all my equipment, I need to do a better job, maybe sending out some email blasts saying, hey, just as a reminder, you know, because you can't get to everybody.
No, you can't.
And so I'm going to take a look at that. But having said that, this is not uncommon. Nobody should feel, but it does need to be. It needs to be replenished. There's no question about it. So I'm going to get you a price. Do I need to send the quote to you? Okay.
And to keep in mind too, I had mentioned to the mayor about the possibility of public works coming to Justin King, which is good here for you guys. But the idea was, if in fact we get that mulch here, we'll have a volunteer to go put it in. Volunteers would help to save a lot of money in terms of.
Oh, I don't think that would be an issue.
I didn't think so either.
No.
But those are ways to save, because they'll come dump it and we'll put it in.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be an issue.
Okay, that's good.
And we got enough organizations
I agree.
around
Oh,
that
yes,
will
Lord. Yes,
that
Lord.
will
Glad
jump
about
on
it.
and be glad to do it. Yeah, I don't think that would be a problem.
What I'm going to do is just go back and calculate. I've got the square footage, and I just need to put a calculator on there to determine exactly how much you need.
That works.
We did talk about access. It's kind of a rough way in, so there's a few different delivery points, access points where we could go to for your volunteers. So if everything goes okay, feel good about the price, and we get it ordered, I'll probably come back down and meet with whoever's going to do it and go through that again.
Okay.
Because I want it, because it's last time we dumped it off that hill, and it worked out fine. My guys actually did it, and because they were here doing it, so but they were fine. They raked it down the hill. But as Mayor Evans and I were talking about, that's kind of a difficult deal.
Yeah.
So this might be a better spot right here, just dumping it here. But these trucks are 53 feet.
Yeah,
So they're big,
that's
they're
what-
huge.
yeah.
It's probably gonna have 50 plus cubic yards in it.
You may have to come
At least.
around the back of the building.
Yeah, what I was worried about is that hill. They don't love coming down a hill, and unless
But
I
I mean,
can
if
come
you go
around
the
that
back
way.
of that building.
Okay,
you
I'll go
can
take a
drive-
look at
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Around
I'll go
behind
take a
them.
look.
If you go around behind there,
Yeah.
I think that's a flatter.
We'll mark this area up a little bit, but all we're doing is just you're gonna tell tire tracks were there.
Yeah.
So hopefully we hit it when it's not soft and mushy after
Right.
the rain.
Right.
And if it is, we might want to
Then
consider
you want to, yeah, and
an
we can
option
we
two.
can
Yes,
play
ma'am.
that by ear
Yes, ma'am.
and see what how the weather's treating us.
Absolutely. So good. I've got everything I need. I'm going to get for you, just so you know, answer for you about
Please,
the
thank
second
you.
step on there.
I appreciate it.
But I think
Like I said, this is the side she enters on and have to make her transition all the way around the equipment to get to a step.
Well, and that was the only place to put it. I mean, we could put an ADA ramp on the other end. We could do that as well.
I said once she makes it
Second
to
one.
the steps, she can make the 7 or 8 inch steps.
Right.
You know, like I said, we walk behind her to keep her from back falling.
But you could,
Okay.
to solve that issue, Dr. Hendricks, what we're thinking, you could take another one of those ADAs, order that, and we could replace a 4-footer with an ADA to put on that other end in case children do come down off those steps on the other end. That would give you a second one. If you want me to include that in the price for you to consider, I can do
You
that.
can, and then one of the
Okay.
other things I think that we will do, because it's not the only playground in town.
No, there's 20. There's
And there are
21.
other playgrounds that don't have this issue. So, and I think one of the things that we probably can do as well, and Mayor Evans, you may agree or disagree, tell me if I'm wrong, but probably we can put out, because we're getting ready to redo the website, and as we're talking about new information for the website, is that we certainly can place those listing of those playgrounds that are already accessible, because this is not the only playground in the city.
You're right. That's excellent. I think
You
you
know,
should. I think you
And
should.
so there's some where the steps are extremely low. This just is one of the newer ones, that's in town that we were very happy that Mayor Evans put in.
Yeah, you'd be working on 2012 ADA standards, I guess, now.
Yeah, because there are
People
some.
live all over
They live all over the city. So this is
what's closest to them, they can go and convene. So
correct,
I think you're correct.
and not
You're good.
all of them are,
I understand.
yeah.
Well,
It's
yeah,
just one of the newer
those meet the standard. They're at the
That's
right
what I
height.
thought.
They're at the right height. It's just a matter of having the right level of wood carving.
Right. That's
yeah,
what
they're
I
at the
thought
right height.
because
yeah. So, but
those are some of the
With
things that I said
the mulch in it, it'd be the right height.
yes.
Without it, they're not.
Yep, so that's all we need, just to add that, and you just have to kind of replenish it. Like I said, I'll put notes in there for you on that. So, fantastic.
Yeah, we submitted a couple of grants because I know ADM does some things, with the rubber, and you can get some things from there. And we submitted one international paper where we want to do a totally new sensory park and things like that, because that's something that we don't have. So that was recognized, but had you called me, you didn't know that.
We're gonna have a talk before you leave. I'm gonna fill your ear full in just a minute.
You could have said what they already know, and here's what the plan is, and so you could have given the right information.
Yeah, I give her a chance. I believe she'll prove to be working
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
And then I'll talk to communicate with you about that inclusive playground. We've done
I think
several,
that would be great.
and I'd love to work with you and get you a price on when that comes up.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
What you probably seen is I sent her a
I did.
design.
I got it.
It's got the wood carpet in
It
there like
does.
we have here. So if
It
you want
does,
to add back
'cause
the
she
rubber,
sent it to me, and I reviewed it, and then
Fantastic.
before
Good.
I signed off on
good.
everything.
I'm glad to know you're working on that too. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Oh
So,
no, we're a team. We work together.
very good, very good. Yeah, they're nice people, Henry, and I mean I just
Yeah, Henry's
I
awesome.
think the most of. I know he worked hard on getting this in there too.
Yeah, Henry is awesome.
he's a good man. So.
Yes, he did. Oh yeah, this was like his baby.
yeah. I remember he asked us about it, and we really don't do splash pads, so he found somebody that can get that done. Well, we'll get this handled, and I'll be back in touch. I'll email you, and then anything else you need me to do, and I will come back down. I'm going to go walk over here just so I can
that
tell.
you can see. Yeah,
I can tell my vendor that you can get
Sure,
around
you wanna
that
walk
building.
with him?
Yeah.
And then
We'll see if we can make it back through there.
Charlie and I
Sounds
will.
good.
Yeah.
Man, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank
Yeah.
y'all.
Okay, thank you.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Absolutely. Good seeing
Nice
you.
you too,
I'll
Mr.
be in
Thank you,
touch.
thank you
I'll
very
get you an
much.
answer on that.
Yes, sir. Thank you
Whether
very
we
much.
can add one, but again, I think we're fine. And an ADA
Right.
on the other side
Right.
might help.
Okay.
The ramp. So
Okay.
that would just be
Okay.
one option.
Thank you.
I'll be in touch.
You ready? Got your notepad?
I got ears and a heart.
I'll be in
Good to
touch.
meet you.
Yes,
Look,
ma'am.
I got ears, a mind, and a heart.
All
So
right.
I think we'll be all right.
When was the grant applied for on this?
Not this.
No, the mulch. For the other one.
Oh,
You just said it in
End
September
of September.
of this year.
Yeah. Yeah, since I've been here.
Okay. Well, like I
'Cause I
said,
came in April.
right. I know that you make tours down here, right? I mean, you have come down here and looked already, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been down here.
Did you realize that there was no mulch under there?
I did. That's why I started looking for it. So we
I
had to figure out
understand,
how to-
but-
and we had to figure out how to purchase it.
Okay, and I'm glad you brought that up because this goes back to my beef with the mayor to begin with.
We had to figure out how to purchase it.
Right.
Too.
The mayor's had no problem figuring out how to purchase the grass and
But let
all
me
the
tell
work
you one
around
more
that.
thing. So when I was we were asked to submit projects for the American Rescue Funds.
Right.
I submitted several things. The biggest thing that I submitted, and that has gone to the council, and it
Yeah,
was
I
a part
watched
of the
it.
whole thing.
Yeah.
But my thing was, I had 3 different projects. One, most of the playgrounds in the city were put in under the first Perkins administration.
Right. And that was prior to 2012. Well, that's when the new standards come out.
Right, and so but they were put in at that point. So
And they
but
kind of
this-
grandfathered in to a
they
point
are,
then.
but the point is, it's not okay.
Yeah, it's not
right?
okay.
It's
Oh,
not
I agree
okay.
with that. Yeah.
So
Neither is
I-
City Hall not having a push button door either. But
all of that is not okay.
or in the
right?
working elevator.
All of that is not okay, right?
No,
So-
it's not.
so-
but we're spending money.
But here's my thing. When I came in April, and then when we got the thing for the American Rescue Funds, I said, look, we got to redo the playgrounds all over the city. I called in, I think we got some quotes from them. I got quotes from 3 different, places to see what's going to work to redo all the equipment everywhere. And then the ones that were newer, like we don't have to redo this whole thing.
No.
here.
They're
But
just
here
couple
But here are the upgrades that
Right.
need to be done.
Right.
So like this one, there are a few things we need to do on First Avenue Park. You know,
Right.
so there-
Yeah, I do.
right? So
And the only reason I chose this one because this is central to where we are. This is
Yeah.
what's being pushed in the city for tourism.
yeah, I
The
got
whole
you.
9 yards.
I
This
got
was this was
So-
the gym.
Yeah, I got you. So
And not that all the other ones don't need everything in there, because I've advocated, and they have too,
but
for
I
child's
guess what I
changing
want you
station.
to understand is that, from my perspective, in terms of the things that I can do, that was my big push
Right,
in terms of the American Rescue Funds.
right,
Was for us to spend about $425,000, upgrade
All the
all,
yeah.
specifically
Right.
playgrounds.
And I don't know how that worked out through council.
all
Are they
the
still fighting over all that?
I
so.
think they are. But the point is, when they decided,
But I will work on that
But
with
when
that
they
too.
decided to move and do whatever they decided
Mm-hmm.
to do, the things that we need
Mm-hmm.
that will help children, and because
Right,
that's part
right,
of in our
right.
area, that kind of went.
Right. Well, and while you're looking at those things too,
But the proposal was submitted. The mayor signed off on it. It wasn't something that was blocked.
Mm-hmm. Right,
In
right.
any way like that.
right,
It was, but in the budgeting process, when the council made some decisions,
right.
they kind of threw out those things,
See,
So,
and like I said, we're speaking
my
about
heart just dropped because I went, oh, okay, now I got to figure out a way.
Right, I
How can I
understand.
get this done?
Look, I do understand, and
Because-
and I know that different departments have different grants of money or different monies that they work out of.
Yeah.
I understand all
so
that.
that's when we started really submitting the.
And
the
I
grants.
look at things from, I know that all the leaders like to call themselves leaders when they're actually public servants to work for. And I know that seemed like a small petty thing to think about, but you should always work for others before you work for yourself. The money that was spent
If
around.
you read Greenleaf's book,
Well,
there's something called servant leadership. Robert Greenleaf.
I understand. I
And so-
understand that, and I'm not going to get into the debating
No,
of all
no,
that.
but I'm
I'm
saying,
just saying.
I'm agreeing with you.
Right.
And what it is called is servant
Right.
leadership. Because
But, you know,
what you're saying is
a lot of
absolutely
money
right.
has been spent around City Hall on stuff that didn't benefit the public as much as it did and I don't want to call it the vanity of the mayor, but the appearance that he likes to put himself in around with that. And like I said, I don't have any problem with Mr. Perkins other than the fact that I think that they should be servants and not and a volunteer. We have situations like this. For instance, this splash pad. How many days has this splash pad been open this year? It opened up the one day on the 4th of July holiday.
It was
Work it up
open-
a couple of days, a week or two after
we
that.
Opened, and
How many
it stayed
actual
open
days?
Until October 1st.
How many actual
Every
days?
day. It was open every day until October 1st.
There was okay.
It was only open in the afternoons, and we publicized
Right.
the times.
When this grant was
And
when
we
this thing
did
was
it
done, it
on
was
Saturday
for a recirculating pad that
and
could have been
Sunday.
turned on and left on without having to have somebody turn the water on off that. And see that bothers me a little bit too. That the original amount of money that was budgeted or approved by the council and all for this went up $50,000 or $60,000, $70,000 to get a to turn it into a freshwater pad. They
Yeah,
had
it's
they had to
definitely
bring and that's freshwater. You had to turn on. The other one was supposed to be recirculating. That could have been turned on in the morning, left on without anybody down here supervising. Without those 5 employees down here working
We
on
didn't
it.
have 5
Well, whatever it was that was hired,
We had one person.
whatever the recreation, but
Yeah, we only had one. There was
Right.
only one person.
but I'm just
And-
saying without that
Yeah.
one person being
There
there
was
to
only
do
one
that,
person,
that
down here.
we still have. There's never been any water here, which is a good thing because there's not no bathroom. You know how many times we have sat there and watched kids pee all over because kids are gonna pee.
Oh, I mean, that's the nature of
I understand, but this is a public park. It's not a place where you wouldn't want the hobos peeing on it.
No, you wouldn't want
we
anybody
we
to
have
know, but it
found
doesn't stop it from
it
happening.
doesn't stop it from happening. But if you
And
have
dogs pee on it, too.
oh yeah, there's cat
mean-
scraping up on the inside. They do. They're right in
You
there
can't
now.
stop that from happening.
No, but you can provide a bathroom for the people. The dogs you
Oh,
may
well, you
not.
know what? Have you talked to planning and development about what
Well,
the grant that's been submitted for?
Yeah,
this
I
building?
know, but those are all future projects. We're
But I
talking
mean,
about.
but you can't do it right now.
But you've been in for 10 months and this mulch ain't
I
been
haven't
here.
been for 10 months.
Okay, this administration's been here for 10, 11
I was
months.
about to say I haven't been here for
Okay,
10 months,
but
so no, that's
okay,
not true.
okay. But the administration knows. He knows because he followed it. He walked down here when.
But we can't build a bathroom overnight.
No,
Mr.
but you could have
Blackman.
put the mulch in.
Mr. Blackman.
He put his
have
grass
no
in.
idea.
He put his sprinkler systems in, and I don't know where that money come from.
And you also don't know if I hadn't put the energy and the time and the funding so that we could get the stadium back up and running, so that I had to hire people. There was one person when I started. All of that takes time, and I don't think you're being fair.
I disagree.
No, I'm talking about me.
You go ahead.
I don't think you're being fair to me in the position that I'm in when I walked in a door and I had one staff member.
Look, I understand.
And me and that one person, there's no way we could do all of this, right? Well, I had to hire people. The grass was crazy high in every part. It was ridiculous. And so I had to figure out a way to get some things under control. I'm just now really fully staffed.
I understand.
Mr. Charlie hadn't been here a month. I mean, you have it's not an overnight process.
Well, look, I
I
understand.
don't want you to think that these things aren't important, because they are.
And we have been actually looking and addressing. I know I don't. But we have been looking and trying to address these same issues since 2017, and we had 4 years. I know you wasn't, but as a citizen, we was dealing with an administration that shut down.
Blackman, I'm a citizen.
I know.
So as a fellow citizen, please be fair to me as a citizen.
I will.
And have conversation like we're having now.
Yeah.
And please try to hear me and listen. Yeah. That's two different things.
Yeah, it is both ways.
That's right.
Both ways.
Hear me and listen, because when it's like you got so many fires. I hate to use
I
that
look,
word,
fires at the
right?
feet. I use it all the time.
You
You
know
put
what I
out the
mean?
fire at
It's
your
like
feet. I use it all the time.
That word. And so it's like, okay, I had to get this done, I had to get this done, and unfortunately, in doing all of that. Thank you. You see that?
We got it figured. Yeah,
Okay.
you're right. We can come around.
Yeah.
He knows. We got several good options.
Great.
We'll
That's good.
I'll get you a quote very soon.
Awesome.
Appreciate
And you know what else? Let me give you the Gmail account, because sometimes, the little firewalls and the email, and I don't want to miss.
Don't want to miss that, yeah.
Yeah.
So you got it at Selma dash AL. If I got the same, because I got Henry's and I've got.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. But we have a Selma Rec, REC, programs with an S.
Selma
Rec,
REC,
programs with an S at gmail.com.
All right, so send it to that.
And I would say send it to both.
Both. You got it.
Because
just
that
to
way,
make sure.
That way, that'll lessen the possibility of it getting caught in a firewall or something. Because I don't want to miss it.
I'll send it to both.
Okay.
But we try to take things, and I have stopped in at the mayor's office several times. Because when I'm in town to go by. And I understand he's got his schedule already made up, but when a citizen can't address, you walk in there now, all the doors are shut. You had to have an appointment to get to the attorney. Anything you want to talk to, and I understand everybody else has their time schedules too to do. But when we take time to go down there and we can't see and can't get nothing done, but none of these issues that we're brought up now have been brought up. Now, they wasn't in your term, but they have a long history of being addressed through Melton, since 2016 or 17, that has been addressed multiple times on there.
Mayor Melton came in 16, I think?
16,
okay.
Yeah. And so, and it was brought up many times. And me as a handicapped father who, we homeschool, we do like that, so we deal with a lot of things. And there's a lot of issues that I find with Selma that don't stand up to the reputation that it's trying to put out. And that goes from everything from this bridge I'm sorry. I'm making sure mine might not have been off. I'm going to turn mine off and make sure mine's off too. But like I said, we bring it up, the issue with the water in the bathrooms. At one time, there was some nasty porta potties put out here, and the girls made videos, and we didn't know what it was like. She opened it up, and it would just look like a bus stop bathroom, which they were porta potties. But and we've got holes that come out when they at the park buried the lines. It was done on this administration for whatever they did through there, and didn't put in compliant electrical things. That got called out too. It got fixed because it was called out.
But did you try to call? I'm just asking. My question is, because and if it was wrong, they're wrong.
And here's what I told. Here's what I told.
Or did you call my office?
Here's what I said to my daughter about this thing here. If we put a video out online, you have 100 voices calling to your office.
That's not the way things should work.
But I understand.
I disagree with
well,
you
and
100%.
you have that right. Well, let me
Because
ask you this: you have been here since April and haven't fixed it yet either.
But you're not hearing me.
I heard
That's
you.
one thing.
That's one thing.
There
That's
were-
one thing.
there
Those
were-
holes right there
How
that
am
was
I
done
gonna
there.
fix something? And when I walked in, he was the only employee.
I understand that, and I heard
so
you one
I-
time say you worked administration. You didn't work out in the field.
And that's the truth.
Yeah, I understand. And I heard that.
And
you know,
that's the
so,
truth. I
you know,
don't.
and
we
I
had
respect.
to hire people
I understand that.
who knew. I know my skill level.
I understand.
And I understand my skills.
I
and
can't
understand
type
what
it
they
all, so
are
I understand.
And what they're not, right?
I understand.
So-
But
and I
my
don't do
main
that.
thing is that if as a recreation department thing, when you make this
And your
walk
degree is in what?
photography, but
Okay.
I don't have a degree in anything. I'm a homeschooler.
Okay.
But I don't know if that was meant to be a jab.
No,
or-
it wasn't. I was trying to ask
Okay,
because
no,
I
no,
wanted to know what
no.
your specialty was.
No, I've been a photographer here for and a reporter for since 87, whatever.
Okay,
So been
cool.
lots
No,
of stuff, lots of
that's
stuff,
good.
lots of documentation. I've been at places. I've photographed with the president over the bridge. I've been involved with Selma forever. Mostly through doing exactly what I'm doing now, storing of history. And it's just like the recent little thing that come up about the videos and the city wanting control of that. You know, that was an attack by what I seen as.
I have anything to do with
I understand.
videos or
I
whatever,
understand.
it ain't
But
anything
what
to
I'm
that.
saying, the mayor used my videos when he was running because he's told me many times and told the county, I know what's going on because I have watched
And
this man's
all I'm
videos.
asking is as a fellow citizen. I
Okay.
think sometimes that gets lost on.
Right. Look, I understand.
people, is
But
that
we're going to walk around and we'll point out some
we're all
things.
here together.
Yeah.
And all
And I'm not here to attack anybody. I'm just saying
And
that
I'm
if you
not
don't
taking it
if you
that
don't
way.
raise the awareness of it,
But I'm asking you to
Sometimes-
raise it first. Not to not do
Yeah.
it. That's not what I'm saying.
and I
That's
appreciate
not what I'm saying. That's
and
not
I
what I'm saying.
appreciate that.
But what I am saying is, prior to doing that,
Right.
and as
And-
you said, you're a photographer and a journalist and a history preserver. So, but as that, I am asking professionally, is that prior to putting out the story, get some more information. Not that you can't still raise the issue, because
Right,
that's cool.
right.
That's cool.
But
I'm not
I
saying
can
that
I
at
can
all.
respect all
But
that.
what I'm saying is that when you put it out, you can say, hey, I raised this issue with Parks and Recs. And when I talked with whoever, I was told that, yes, this is on our radar. Here are the things that have been, that they've attempted to do, or here's what has already been ordered, or here's what, or whatever.
I understand.
And then here's what they're trying to do, or here's what's been done to try to help this in the future. You know?
Right.
Because the issue has been recognized, and and you can say you appreciate it, you don't appreciate it, but you can say, hey, this is what I found out, and that's no good, or this is what I found out.
And the same way the other way. We can agree that we could argue both points on that
and this is
either
what
way.
I found out.
But that's not
least-
what's important right
But
now.
at least the message and the way the message comes across, because I finally saw it. Somebody sent it to me, and I finally saw it, and I thought, okay, here we go. This was a part of the American Rescue, because really, the way my initial thought
Maybe
was,
you should have put
my
it out
initial
that
thought
we
was
are
like,
working on
dog.
that before it got brought out, though. So we could argue that both ways.
we could, because
And it doesn't solve either of our
It
problems.
doesn't.
Main thing we want to do is just get it. We got right next to where the old washed out hole that was repaired a year ago here, the cave in. There's another.
I just remember hearing something about
Yeah,
that.
oh yeah, it was a cave you could have rode a dump truck in.
Oh, wow.
And but right there at that light pole, there's another. It's another washed out going on there. And I know the people that's cut the grass have seen it because they've cut over and around it like that. So they know that there's a washed out hole there that's going down that same line of pipe, or the one pipe's right beside it. It's going to be the same issue before. Now, as a citizen, I shouldn't have to come out here and be telling them, because these people, the rec department and your job, I mean, this is your job to surveil this stuff and look before.
That's why Mr. Charlie hadn't been here a month.
I understand.
He is the Parks and Grounds.
Yes,
I had to
and I
get
understand.
somebody
Yes,
that this is what they do.
I understand.
Because
I do understand
so
that
I
you have
finally
no help.
got somebody.
Look,
This is what
I
they
can
do.
appreciate you not having it, because I watched 68 families dismissed for no reason.
You know what you understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, because and somebody with the knowledge base
Right.
that can see something and say, hey, we're getting ready to have an issue here. Just what you're saying.
We're
right?
fixing to have
And here's what we need to do
viewing
about
of the bridge. We're marking out now for what I guess for the boats for the
Saturday
parade.
events for Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, for the events of that time like that. But we got holes up there that if somebody stepped in would fall into that's not being addressed. You know, it just seemed like to me that things get and in my mind just like the splash pad opening like that on 4th of July weekend. As a look, you know, we're going to make this showing right here to make it look good, but we really haven't done all the work that prepared it to get opened up to begin with. There's no water here, there's no bathroom here. When you get 200 or 300 people walking around here with no bathroom, this is not a public urinal down here. You know, that should be day one. There's no bathroom here. That should have been the first project that got addressed before anything got addressed, in my opinion. Right. You know, and it's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I believe that Charlie, along with Doc, and
yes, I agree.
They're identifying things now. And so
right.
these people just came on board.
I understand.
There's a lot of things that have been neglected for years.
That
need to be done. So now they're trying to pinpoint this stuff. And
right.
As the
well, that's what I did. I just pointed it out.
By the time the spring comes, about that time, all this will be a gone.
Or at least.
Yeah. A work in progress.
Progress.
Well, you know, like I said, you know, we got the mulch coming in. We got this problem here, I guess, working on right now. Like I said, you know, I guess it's going to have to go to council to get the approval of money.
Depending on the amount.
Right. I don't know what this stuff costs.
It just depends on the amount. Anything, and honestly, you know, if it's more than, we can't spend more than $5,000.
I know.
I don't agree with that.
I watched that bill. I watched that battle many times too.
I mean, I could have something done, but I got to wait.
2 weeks.
Go through, and it can be done, you know, and I don't agree with that. I think that is very,
and I don't mean to imply that you're not.
That is very constraining.
But yes, and I understand having your hands tied. You know, from the outside, we see the mayor spending money on his place, and that does irk a lot of people, not just me myself, because look, I set myself up 4 or 5 years ago to be a conduit to those 68 people that was laid off, and before they was laid off, and city workers still today call me and said, look, I can't say nothing because if I do, I'll be gone. And you know that works. You know, look at department heads, you know, Miss Renita went away, you know, because she didn't agree. There are other ones.
I don't have anything to do with that.
I think we need to leave that.
I don't.
Yeah, I will.
That's not really why I'm here.
Let's focus on.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that.
That's not why I'm here.
The reason I post online is because I have employees that contact me and said I can't say nothing. I need a voice out, and that's the reason that the whole posting got started anyway.
Well, I think if you get somebody get there, then go to the head, go to the people that can give you some dialogue before you print it. I mean, before you put it out there. So if they want to tell you all this, sometimes that stuff is good and sometimes it's not. So
I understand that.
People have agendas. They have different agendas.
And they have agendas.
But you chuck a rock in the water, it all makes ripples, and it will settle.
People only know from their own perspective, right? And so there could be other things going on because I have no idea who it is or what it is, and nor do I want to know. But a person only knows from their perspective. Once you get to people who are supervisors and a department head, they're going to have a different view and may happen to have more information. So all I'm saying is, at least I can only speak for my area. And all I'm saying is majority of the things that, actually all, because even the football piece, when that went out, and I'm saying, where did that come from? Because if you call the office.
Well, it come from a coach under you.
They don't work.
I understand.
For the city.
But it was told to me.
And it was wrong.
By this person. Well, that was. A coach had left the office and said this is what it was going to be. That's where that comes from.
You didn't verify the information that you got, and that's my issue.
Well,
you should have called and said, is this true? Because guess what? Because if it was true, then cool. But had you called, and I would have said, come on down to the office and see all this stuff we got in here.
You have a way of contacting her now.
Yeah, I do.
Let's do that.
Just call.
And we're not fussing, Mr. Evans.
But I'm pointing out a better way to communicate.
Right.
And trust me, I want that. And as a former AD, divisions 1, 2, and 3, I had parents, alumni, you know, everybody coming from all over the country and all over the world. So, and everybody's going to have their opinions, and that's cool, and it's good, and a lot of good can come from that. So I don't want to squelch it at all.
Right.
But all I'm asking is that if you would just ask a couple of questions. Hey, this is what I was told. Is that true?
And
And I
a
can
better
say,
way to communicate your what you already got done is to let people know that is, look, we have a problem down here with this, and we were doing this. If it would have been put out on your side before, I wouldn't have had to address it either.
Oh, and I can agree with that. And
you
I
know.
think that's one of the things that, like with the Fix It Fridays, Recreation just hadn't had a turn
Right,
in that
right,
platform
right.
at this point, so that we can say, like I think the magistrate went,
Right.
and, you know what I'm saying?
To be
here
very
the
transparent, you have to be out and open ahead of all of it.
Yeah.
And see, that's where
But
I feel like a lot of it
we haven't
doesn't.
had that. Our turn hadn't come up yet.
And I've
so that we
addressed,
could
like I
say
said, the
something.
difference in what the splash pad cost and what it was sold to the city, how all that whole freshwater versus recirculate. But you know, when you're talking to people, they put out the fire at their feet. And when they turn around, you're not the fire at their feet no more.
Mm-hmm.
So and going and talking a lot of times gets a lot of us that same thing. I hear you, I hear you, I hear you. And that's the last we hear of it.
Yeah, but
And
I'm
it's not saying you're
I'm
not working
cut
on it.
from the same cloth.
I
So
know.
what I'm saying is, don't judge me by whoever was in that seat in the
Okay.
past.
Oh.
You have to give new people.
Work on the, okay,
And
and I
opportunity.
will.
That's all
Work
I'm
on the
saying.
bathroom, get us some water, because the water's already running there. Just needs a knob on it. And fix the holes that's there. And if you can get a step on this side here, it
Well,
would keep her.
that's what he said he
It
was
would
gonna
keep
say,
us from
and we'll
having
see.
to transfer
He's working on it.
around. Yeah, he's
And
working.
Jeff's
But-
gonna send all that in a
He'll send
write-up.
that.
And if you
and
could
then
get that,
once
if
he
you
sends
get that rubberized, that would even be better because we can
So,
use the
but see, you
wheelchair.
didn't even know we had put that grant
Well,
in, you know,
no.
so that we can get that. So, but I'm
No,
saying,
I didn't know because you
know,
didn't put it out there.
But,
So.
but I shouldn't have to put every little thing out there. You
Look,
know, you're just trying to get it done.
I believe you're doing a good job. I know you're trying.
I know she's
And
trying.
your
I'm not-
hands are tired. It's a lot of things.
And a
are
lot
doing,
of whole
and you
lot
gotta
of
get
things.
permission. You got to get permission to do something. Even permission to talk about something.
That's the truth.
So I know I've been there.
And see, that
you
was
know,
another thing I talked about at the
and
meeting.
I'm with the pool. I had the money to fix the pool. The council wouldn't even vote on it.
Look, I understand.
So-
I was there, and I'm
What
not.
could I do?
Look, I don't give council a break either. I promise.
What could I do? And that hurt my heart because we could have had it done.
Yeah.
We had the money from the Edmondites, which would have gotten it under the 50,000.
Speaking of which, you know, the Ammonites have approached me. See, I get approached by all of them to look for the video of the how that lodging fee was being, because they thought they were still supposed to be getting that.
No,
Yeah.
the previous council
The previous
discontinued
council.
that.
Yeah.
On the Dario, they
Yeah.
Right.
took that out. They took it out of that whole
Well, see that
money.
yeah.
And they took that out of there and took from the YMCA too.
And took
They
from the
sure did.
YMCA
all
too.
that was a
And
council
that was a
decision.
council decision.
Yeah, and like I said,
that was a
I've
But
believe me,
my
I've got
point is, we had the funding in the budget to fix the pool.
right,
The council wouldn't vote on it.
right. And like I said,
So my hands
yeah,
are tied.
yeah.
So now, what I'm doing at this point is crafting a plan to give to the mayor so that we can do a capital campaign for all of the parks so that we can get these things done. And we're going to have to, and there's funding out there, not just grants, but I mean, people will donate and be willing to put their name on some
Right.
things
Yeah.
so that we can get it done. But that's not an overnight process.
right.
That's a
But
long
ADA
process,
compliant. If
but
there's been
this
a
is
private
what we're gonna
business
do.
violating ADA, you get 90 days. It's going to be 18 months for the elevator gets fixed. As the lesser of people, which is you always work as a politician for the lesser of those.
But I'm not a politician.
Well, I understand, but
And
but
please, I am not a politician.
but you're working to make fix those that can't help themselves. Like
and that's
that.
the whole point.
Oh,
And-
right?
I just
and-
got a text from there. He needs you back at the office.
I'll come back.
Okay. Well, there's no problem. But
So
look,
this-
I will ring your phone off the hook
Oh, this is
And
if I as I
That's what he
can.
said.
Thanks,
And
sir.
He needs you back at the office.
I got it.
Okay.
like I said, the people just want to know that things are moving, and they don't see things if you're not putting it out there forward. They looking at the thing that's being done, and that's what I get the phone calls from.
Okay,
Yeah.
We'll
And that's
work on.
unfortunate.
I thank you for
I
coming.
appreciate you.
Tell him I appreciate y'all coming, guys.
Now,
and,
Mayor, is
Appreciate
that
it, man.
Kim
Take it
Lincoln on
easy.
your shirt?
I think it's already been there.
Oh, okay.
So,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much for coming, and I think you handled it very well.
Thank you.
Miss George, I apologize. I don't mean to sound.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mean to sound. And I know she's doing
Give her a
what.
chance, and if you don't, then you can write about her too.
Yeah.
And once you ask all the questions, she don't keep up word.
see, the problem that is, though, I do ask the questions of council and others too, you know, since she's saying to go back to the council because they control the money, well, I ask the council, and I don't get nothing from that either.
Yeah, I know.
You know, so you know how the circus
I know
works.
how it works. I know how it works. I know.
You know, and my main thing is that we just want to make sure this gets going.
Well,
And
it'll get done.
and I know a lot of stuff don't get done if it's not throwed up and embarrassing.
I understand.
You know that too.
Yeah,
So,
well, look, I'm so good to see you.
look, man, me
I'm
too.
gonna
And
go
I
back and
think,
get
look, I
some
thank
things
you for your help too. And like
Yeah,
I said,
we're gonna work
I
on it.
know it still got to go through this administration
done.
here.
Yeah,
And
well, it's gonna, I think they'll do us right. This is critical. Right?
well, you know, as an ADA and being in compliance, and I know those are regulations and not laws, but they are regulations and rules. But you know, once it's broken, and and it should be on a first priority,
That's right.
and not side at the price of that side would fix this. I
Yeah.
promise you.
Well, I hope in between now and the new year, we have all this,
Yes, sir.
corrected.
I thank you, sir, too, and I appreciate you coming out, Miss George. Thank you very much.
Enjoy it very much.
And I got
Listen, I said to the city attorney, and I even sent the president of the council an email when I saw what was going on at the amphitheater and the park out that area, and the disparaging things that were being said about the city that were not justified. Even the former mayor met him at that location to try to explain what was going on with that situation, and had asked me to come down because not the former mayor George Evans met him at the site to explain to him what went on, and had the contractor who put the equipment there. My concern was we should not be paying someone to say disparaging things about the city. That's my point. That's my point.
Okay, well, there's a line there where it becomes legal and not legal. I mean, that's what I'm trying to get to here, because you can create lawsuits and whatnot.
Well,
When it comes to that, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's illegal.
well, at this point, listen, I have a responsibility we have a responsibility to protect the name and character of this institution. I'm not talking about the council, I'm talking about the city of Selma. And we should not be paying someone to put out disparaging information about our community. We shouldn't.
But we cannot restrict our First Amendment rights.
I'm not restricting First Amendment rights, but what I am doing is saying I'm not going to pay somebody to do what they're doing. If they want to do it, go ahead. But I'm not going to pay you to do it. So now I said to the city attorney, that contract needs to be terminated. And if the council wants to reinstate the contract under those conditions, what you know, do so. But I said it needed to be terminated.
And that is